here we go. We are jumping into our final best of 3 of the evening. And if you're in the chat, predictions. Predictions are open. Place your bets. As spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have our German Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Lambo. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss, the red Protoss player representing Gen G Esports. It is Trap. Oh, the alias didn't work. Wait, what? We'll fix it next time. Fix that next time. As for now, we're going to be settling in. It is going to be a hatch gas pool. We do force the unnatural natural out of Lambo, forsake the third base location. And I'm curious to see how Lambo does approach this. As a reminder, we have already seen Lambo face off against some of these Protoss players already here tonight. Lambo went up against Art. Lambo also went up against Goblin. And we have seen Lambo flex his muta play. We've seen quite a decent amount of mutas from Lambo already tonight. I'm curious if he tries to embrace them here against Trap. Also seen some all-ins. Did see an all-in out of Lambo on Oceanborn, if you recall. But we're loading into a larger map. You know, we're here on Site Delta. All-ins aren't really seen too often. They're not too common. And my eyes are gonna be on Lambo. When it comes to Trap, recently Trap has also been embracing Glavid Eps. If you remember, he went on a tear in ESL Asia last week. I want to quickly double check. I don't want to get it wrong, but I want to say that Trap took down Dark and Rogue in a very convincing fashion. It was crazy how well Trap looked, specifically in this matchup in PvZ. It's something that we haven't been able to see here today, not yet, until now, as there were no other Zerg players in the group. But quickly double checking. Here. He 2-0'd Shin and 2-0'd Dark. That's it. So he 2-0'd Dark and he 2-0'd Shin. This was an ESL Asia 236. This was 2 weeks ago. And it was impressive. It was very impressive stuff. Trap, he had some really clean and really crisp Oracle control. He was doing so much with his Oracles. Not just that, but he was embracing Glavid Eps, as many Protoss players have recently. A lot of Glavid Eps back. So probe is shut down. Third base is being taken. Meanwhile, back at home, it's going to be a Stargate opener out of Trap. Exclamation mark title. Yeah, the title should be good. Should be correct. Should be good to go. I see that does shade into the mineral line. Oh. Oh, right. Sorry. Someone's asking in the chat, why is Wardi not streaming? Wardi is not available today. Shout out to Wardi. He's not available today, so he did provide me the replays for Group C. Wardi has been covering Group A, B, and D. He covered all the other groups, but he did reach out as he was unavailable this weekend. And, yeah, has allowed us to cover Group C instead. So just as a heads up, that is why we are covering Group C instead of Wardi. Just because Wardi needs to wrap up the group stage as quickly as possible and was unable to cast. So we were more than happy to fill in. More than happy. And we are unaware of the results other than the players. Like, the players know the results, and I guess Wardi knows the results. But no one else. Just as a heads up. And Wardi should be covering the playoff bracket. The playoff bracket begins in a couple of days. I think in like 2 or 3 days' time is going to be the playoffs for the Summer Bash. So Wardi will have you covered there. We're just filling in, you know, for a day off. Shout out to Wardi for hosting the event, of course. And we can go over the rest of the playoffs once we wrap up with the group. For now, we're focusing on our best of 3. As Double Oracle does hit the third base, we do go for a bit of a drive-by. 4 drones go down, not bad. We got 4 workers, links across the map, they don't get much done. Nice warp in. The probe is barely saved as well. Trap, calm down. We do pull away, we save the worker, not losing anything across the map. And we shut down those 4 drones, and we're still not done. We dip into the main, getting a 5th drone as well. Oof. And barely not the sick. So Lambo will hold. Meanwhile, in the main base, we do have a +1 on the way. Does tell us that Lambo plans on skipping the Roach Warren. As a result, we have a Bailey Nest instead. So initially going to be Ling Bane aggression here from Lambo. And Trap is following this up, not with Glaive Adepts, but with +1 and Charge instead. Interesting. You don't see this too often, but it's going to be Charge Lot Archon as the follow-up for Trap. It's going to be embracing those Charge Lots and Archons. Likewise, Lings they poke in. Trap able to hold on. Does deflect the Lings. And I was curious if Lambo was going to double down and try to bust the third base, especially with Ling Bane, but no, we're droning. We're droning up, we're saturating our third. Fourth base is on the horizon, Lair is on the way. Lambo should be taking up towards, I imagine, Hydra Tech. Technically, we could try to throw down a Spire. The option is, or the choice here is up to Lambo. Whether we go Muta or Hydra. As we have already seen Muta play earlier in today's broadcast from Lambo. But now, Lings are moving out. Keeping tabs on the army. I mean, seeing these Zealots is a tell. There's no reason to see Zealots at this stage of the game, so we should be aware of the charge lots. Bailings are amassing right outside the third, and it is in fact going to be Ling Bane Hydra out of Lambo. Now, as Trap is moving out, this third base is going to be exposed. Bailings are waddling in. They do waddle into the Mineral Lion, and Trap does react. He pulls away. Going to be leading off 3 workers. Meanwhile, Trap is pushing, moving out with the Prism, with our Archons, and our Zealots. Everything being sent across the map. The Bailey run by was okay. It did get some probes and did deny mining time, but I'm sure we were hoping for a little bit more. And here comes a Trap. Just massing up his army. Hydras are in production. We have some Bailings to work with, thankfully. And Trap actually pulls away. Okay. The Bailings, they do keep him busy, and Trap, he does delay his push. Never mind. Okay, just delays. Forced to warp in back at home. Is still moving out, and how much do we have to work with? We have 3 Archons, 10 Zealots. A pretty hefty army. Now, Bailing's going to be key here for Lambo as we catch out the Queens. Ooh, yeah, some of these Queens are out on creep. Well, they're out off of creep even. Bailings do crash in. Zealots go down, but the Archons, they break through. They're getting on top of these Hydras. And Bailings, they still need a little bit more time. We force a cancel. The Bailings, they do not finish. And Trappy's going for the kill. Going for the natural. Nice control so far. The Hydras do pull back. Zealots go down. We pick up an Archon. 2 Archons left. And Trappy's running out of units. He's running out of steam. Zealots are going down. And without Zealots, there's no support for the Archons. And Lambo, he's holding. Lambo is barely holding on. He shuts down the Archons, takes down the Prism as well. And Trap, what do we have behind this? We weren't really building up towards a later stage. I mean, Storm is on the way, but Lambo holds. And Lambo doesn't just hold, he also maintains his economy. He's on 80 drones, or 78 workers, soon to be 80 drones back at home. 4 base saturation, 5th base getting up and running as well. Lambo did lose Queens, but did preserve his economy. Now Lambo can get out of hand, he can get out of control. The upgrades are on the way. Bailing speed, Hydra speed. We're looking good. We're looking solid. Like, that push was designed to kill, and it didn't. Whew, okay. Lambo, we're looking good. We are looking good, Bob. We survived the aggression. Storm is done, but Trap is stuck on 3 bases. We need a 4th. Do need a 4th bases, but unfortunately we have very little to support the army. We need more warp ins. 4th base now on the way. And Lambo, he's looking to max out. Still needs a little bit of time for the upgrades to kick in. Bailing speed still on the horizon. But Lambo's getting ready for his push. He's had enough defending. It's time to attack. He's making his way over towards the 4th. Looking to deny. Still has to respect the Storms, but again, I mentioned before, we have so little to support this army. No Archons, barely any Zealots. Lings, they collapse in. And these high Templar, they're so exposed, they're so vulnerable. Bailings are rolling in. Oh, they don't quite connect. 1 High Templar goes down. Storms are being forced out. We zone away the army. We're headed for the 3rd base. More High Templar in position. Nice stasis. But we're catching Trap off guard. We're catching him out. High Templar force to morph into Archons. We get into the Mineral Line. Bailings, they connect. probes are falling, and we have the third. Yeah, Lambo, he has done it. He's snowballing out of control. Trap barely has a standing army. Barely anything left. GG gets called, and Lambo takes game number 1. Oh my god. GG. Let's go. GG, well played. Trap, he was undefeated up until now. He has not dropped a single map. Until Lambo. Lambo, he does rise to the challenge. Does take the first game. Again, things were looking quite tense there. Trap's push was delayed, if you remember, because of the bailing run-bys, because of the bailing aggression. Trap's initial timing was delayed. That did play a part. Likewise, the bailing connections from Lambo were on point. What I'm referring to, it was barely off screen, if you remember, but Trap, his Zealots did kind of move out ahead of the pack, ahead of the Archons. They ran into the first wave of bailings, and just like that, the first wave of Zealots, they went down. And that took away a little of the momentum that Trap otherwise had. And with that, Lambo barely able to survive, did hold, did snowball into a win. GG. And with that, we're getting into game 2, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our blue Zerg player from the land of Germany, representing Shopify Rebellion, leading the series 1-0. It is Lambo. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player, the red Protoss, representing Gen G Esports. It is Trap. Let's go. Let us go. And after what happened in game 1, I imagine that Trap is going to take a different approach. I can't imagine we're going to be going for another charge arc on timing. It was very committed out of Trap in the previous game. I wouldn't necessarily say all in, but very committed nonetheless. It did need to do more damage. Didn't do enough. So I imagine we're going to be calming things down and settling into a much more standard game. Meanwhile, we are loading into Oceanborn. And the last time we were here, we did see Lambo go for an all-in. A big reason for that, Oceanborn is known for some roach all-ins, whether it's German taxis, whether it's queen walks across the map. The reasoning for this is the third base. The third base here is very vulnerable. It's very exposed. Unlike some other maps, there's no high ground advantage. You can get onto the same point of elevation as the third base by the ramp here in the center of the map. So because of that, this base is a little bit easier to really lay siege upon, to really push into. That's why we often see those roach all-ins, or those queen roach all-ins. Not saying that we have to see that, but it's in the back of my mind. In the back of Trap's mind as well, I'm sure. For now, we're settling in. It's going to be a hatch gas pool, standard opener out of Lambo. Forced to take the unnatural natural once again. Forced to expand elsewhere. This Trap is just being as annoying as possible. Tasing away at those drones. Keeping Lambo in check, making sure there's no earlier gases, no earlier tech. Just being a nuisance here. Getting quite a bit of damage done. But we'll pull away. Here we go. Now we are waddling in. You can see Trap even forcing a delay on the third base. Does delay for a time, but we will take the third. We'll get up and running. Adept doesn't make it across in time. And we are settling in. Likewise, Lambo also sips by the Adepts for a bit of a scout. Doesn't see too much. Not yet. Dipping into the main and does confirm the Stargate, does confirm the Oracle opener as well. So nice scout here from Lambo. Is fully aware of what's going on and can set up back at home. And Queens are on the way. We're going to be droning up. Queen's going to be in position. Spores on the horizon as well. And my eyes are going to be on a Trap here to see whether he does go for a faster Twilight Council and whether or not he embraces something crazy like Lavideps. We'll see. For now, Oracle's moving out. Making its way towards the main. Third base on the horizon as well. Is going to be taken. Again, Lambo should be in position. We have two queens at the third. Despite that, we get one drone kill. Nice flanking Queens. Oracle takes a little hull damage. There it is! It's what I mentioned. Twilight Council's on the way before the third base is really even up and running at all. Glaives. Let's go. This has been a very trendy build as of late. I mentioned before that this is how Trap defeated both Shin and Dark in ESL Asia 2 weeks ago, was with this Glaive Adept build. And this can get out of hand, this can get out of control, and we'll see if Lambo can get a read on what's going on. As the Twilight Council is now done, gates are on the way, and there it is, Glaives are in production. Oh boy. Meanwhile, we do have quite an early Roach Warren out of Lambo. So far, so good. Roach Warren should finish in time for those Adepts, so we have the tools to defend. But the downside here is because of the positioning of the Roach Warren, we don't have no SimCity. Ideally, you have the Roach Warren here at the natural, Evo Chamber, and then you can wall off. Then you can wall off and you can deter those Adepts. So we're going to be lacking that. Meanwhile, Lings, they do manage to catch some Adepts, not bad. Adepts go down, probe as well. We threaten the base, we force back the Oracles. The Oracles race back home, force activate the Pulsar Beam. Pylon goes down. Nice pickoffs here from Lambo. And back at home, he is amassing Roaches. Lings and Roaches are on the way. At the same time, Trap amassing up his Adepts, getting ready for his move out, getting ready for his push. But in a weird turn of fate, Lambo's going for the all-in. I spoke earlier about how Roach Queen all-ins are quite common on this map, and we're going for it. I don't know who I favor. I mean, look, I favor Lambo. He's got Roaches. He's moving out. He's going for the all-in. The Queens are waddling across the map. Already have to defend. We have Adepts. Oh boy. Adepts move out. Lambo does confirm, and he backs off. Lambo, he does race back. Doesn't want things to get out of hand. So the Adepts, they will force back the all-in, and Lambo drones. Lambo, he's like, okay, you have Adepts, I'm going to drone up, I'm going to try to get into a longer game and defend against your Adepts. So far, so good. We go for the Shade. We have plenty to deal with it. Queens, we have Roaches, Lambo, he survives the initial Glaive Adept aggression. And now we are forced into a longer game. It's a really weird game state where Lambo was setting up for an all-in, Trap was setting up for a Glaive Adept timing. They kind of bounce off each other, and now we have to macro. Now we're droning, and now we're probing up. We're calming down. Trap still has all these depths, of course. Still has potential. He's shading across the map. Lambo has to keep up. Adepts, they hit the fourth base. They force a cancel, not bad. But they shouldn't commit. Should not commit here. Just containing Lambo to 3 bases. And my eyes are on Lambo here as he has 6 Overlords on the way. We have Overlord speed as well. Interesting, alongside a Baneling Nest. 4th base denied for a 2nd time. And the longer we deny the 4th, the more I'm looking at Lambo to see if he does commit to his own all-in at this point. Overseer Scouts, we confirm the gateway setup. There's no Robo, there's no... Well, there are Immortals, but there's no Colossus setup, no splash damage. And yeah, Lambo, he's massing up Ravagers. Ravagers are on the way, Lings are on the way. We've denied the 4th base for far too long, and Lambo, he's doubling down. He's cut worker production here at 69. Nice! 69 drones for Lambo, and we're massing up purely Ling, Roach, Ravager, and Balings as well. We're done droning, we're maxing out, and we're getting ready for an all-in. We're getting ready for a push off of 3 bases. Is going to be quite committed. We're not taking up into Hydras or Lurkers or Hive Tech. We're not joining the 4th base. We're massing up an army. And can Trap survive this? He has a feeling of what's going on. Shield batteries, cannons are on the way. We have a lot of static defense. We're getting ready for a push. Storm has begun. Trap has not expanded, not taken a 4th base yet. Here comes Lambo. Again on the cusp of maxing out. And can he break this position? Trap walling up. Be walling off the right-hand side. 2 Immortals. Soon to be 3. Storm will not be a factor, bear that in mind. It's only halfway done. It might finish up towards the end of the fight. Possible. Show us the force fields. So far, so good, but the Plows, they knock down the force fields. Banelings are rolling in. That's so many Banelings. Oh my god. And they do trickle in. They connect with the Sentries, with the High Templar as well. Yeah, there's not going to be a storm. Not available, not anymore. And Lambo, he has broken the third base. He shuts down the main army. Gets into the mineral line. The High Templar go down. We do save the Immortals. We do have another warp in. Can we barely hold? Stalkers, they warp in behind the army. And the Roach Ravager is being forced back for a moment. The Immortals are holding their own, but here come the Lingering Reinforcements. Yeah, we get on top of the Immortals. We force them back. And we should get a kill on the third. At least the third base. I mean, again, Trap trying to hold on as best he can. Does micro his heart out, saving those Immortals. But with reinforcements on the way, Lambo should have enough. Should. Yeah, he's breaking through. That's going to be a kill on the third base. That's all we wanted. We kill the third. We get on top of the Immortals. Archon goes down. And Trap, he's microing his heart out, but it's not going to be enough. GG gets called, and Lambo will take the series 2-0, knocking down Trap. Let's go. GG. GG, well played. An interesting dynamic where, again, Trap was going for Glaive Adepts, but Lambo was going for his own all-in. Because of that, the Adepts did nothing. We had plenty of Roaches to deal with, and in a sense, we saw that Lambo, he was actually preparing for a longer game. He was droning up as he was expanding, but the fourth base was denied one too many times. It was denied like 2 or 3 times, too many times at that point, and at a certain point, Lambo was like, screw it, you know, you want to deny my fourth? Fine, deny my fourth. I'm just going to max out. I'm just going to go for the all-in. And Trap did recognize what was going on, but perhaps a little bit too late. Did have some stack defense to work with. He was working towards Storm, but again, Storm was too little too late as well. Was not a factor in that final fight. We had 3 Immortals, but mainly Glaive Adepts to defend, and the Banelings, that was the key factor there for Lambo. We had some insane connections. We shut down the Sentries, the High Templar, the Adepts, thanks to those Banelings. And Lambo takes the win. GG. GG, well played. With that, we have wrapped up our matches. We have finished up our games here, and let's quickly take a look at the group, because I'm actually not entirely certain as to where the standings lie. This 2-0 for Lambo does complicate things. Let's switch over for a moment. Let's switch on over and have a look at our matches and have a look at our Night of StarCraft. Okay, we have Goblin. Goblin took down Art 2-0. Oliveira took down Lambo. Trap took down Goblin, and Lambo took down Trap. Now, quickly having a look at the standings here. We have a very, very close scoreline. Actually, it's going to be easier if I just show off the Wikipedia page. All right. Un momento. One moment. I appreciate the spreadsheets, but one moment here. There we go. Hold on, I have to make things look a little bit cleaner. Okay. On the right-hand side, of course, shout out to Wardi. Wardi was covering the other groups earlier in the week. Even last week as well, was covering Group A, Group B, and Group D. So, let's wrap things up. We have Skillis, DNS, and Björn making it out of Group A. Very impressive stuff there. Our Zerg player Scarlet and DRG did struggle and did fail to make it out of the group. We have Rogue, Max, Pax, and Classic making it out of Group B. We have Group D scrolling down a little bit further. We have Creator, Nightmare, and Spirit making it out of Group D as well. Wait, do we have a Zerg player in the... Oh, yeah, we have Rogue. We have Rogue coming out of Group B. And now we have our group, Group C, as we scroll back a little bit. Zoom out a little bit here. There we go. We have Trap, Oliveira, and Lambo. 3-1s, by the way. All these players had insane performances. They dropped single series to each other. And I guess thanks to the head-to-head, we do have Trap with the #1 placement, Oliveira with #2, and Lambo with #3. But very, very close here in their overall head-to-head. It came down to the map score. Again, Lambo did drop a map to Goblin. That is, I'm sure, a deciding factor, as Lambo, he did drop a map, which did affect his overall standings. Meanwhile, Trap and Oliveira, with their head-to-head, if you remember, Trap did defeat Oliveira here 2-0. So thanks to the head-to-head, Trap comes out ahead against Oliveira, and Oliveira ahead against Lambo, because Lambo did drop an extra map against Goblin. So, Yeah, very close though. It did come down to the wire, did come down to specific maps. But we do have Trap Oliver and Lambo making it out of the groups. My apologies to, or my condolences to Art and Goblin. Did play well for themselves. They did have some good moments as well in this series, especially Goblin versus Lambo went all the way to the ace match. But alas, they do get knocked out in the group stage. Why is Wardi not streaming his bash? He's not streaming specifically today because he's unavailable. I did not like pry into the reason why, but Wardi, he was unavailable this weekend. That's also why Wardi did not cast World Team League earlier. We were covering WTL, but Wardi was not. Again, has I imagine other prior engagements, something happening IRL, I imagine. So it's unavailable, but Wardi should be back tomorrow and the day after for the playoff bracket. Scrolling down a little bit here on the Wikipedia page, I believe the start time is already set up. You can see here it's going to be in 2 days and 15 hours. So that's going to be at 9 p.m. Let's go. But in 2 days and 15 hours here, we are going to be having the playoff bracket. It is not constructed yet. I believe Wardi is going to be handling that. He's going to be seeding the bracket and piecing it all together. And he'll be covering the playoffs on his channel in a couple of days, in just under 3 days time. So make sure to check out Wardi's channel, of course, and a shout out to Wardi for hosting this event and facilitating for all these players, for gathering the replays as well. Again, Wardi, he got in contact. He was like, Papi, I need a caster. I'm like, man, I got you. we cast every day anyway. We're good to go. So yes, we were just filling in for a day. Wardi should have you sorted for the rest of the event. Should have you covered, man. Should have you covered. But a shout out to Mazeroth in the chat. Thank you so much, Mazeroth. Gracias, papi. Thank you so much for subscribing with Twitch Prime. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoy the casting. Hope you enjoy the content. If you're maybe tuning in for the first time here on the CranKy Ducklings, if you're maybe not too familiar with us, we do stream and cast on a daily basis. We casted 3 events today. We casted Master Swan Open, which was our Bronze to Masters event that we host on a monthly basis. We casted World Team League, and then bam, right into the WardiTV Summer Bash. 3 events back to back to back. It is 5:30 a.m. in the morning here in Australia. It's time to go to bed. It's time to calm down. If you want some more StarCraft action here, if you want some more content outside of course, following Wardi with the Summer Bash, got you covered, of course. We're going to be live tomorrow with not just World Team League, as World Team League is going to be taking place tomorrow for day number 3, but also the Sparkling Tuna Cup. If you're curious, the hell is the Sparkling Tuna Cup? Why are there so many animals? There's a duck, there's a tuna, there's a swan. It's our theme, papi. It's our theme. The Sparkling Tuna Cup is an open weekly tournament where we feature players from all around the world. Players like Nightmare, like Keen, like Björn, for example, when it comes to the Koreans. We have players like Christiana, Eba, Geralt, Nicaract, Wayne when it comes to the Europeans, and sometimes players like Mia Micah and Hon Mono representing Southeast Asia as well. Rex, Nice from Taiwan. So it is a weekly open tournament that we cast on a regular basis here on the CranKy Ducklings. That is what our Patreon is for. You can see just under Trap's name, there is a Patreon set up. The Patreon is constructed to fund our weekly events and our monthly events as well. So if you're curious about that, you can check it out there. Otherwise, just follow the channel. We're live on a daily basis, multiple times a day, as tomorrow we have two casts back to back, STC and WTL. And Monday is ESL Asia, Tuesday is ESL Americas, Wednesday is Kung Fu Cup, we have Code for Giants, we have a whole schedule, we have just every single day, papi. So plenty of content if you're interested. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Check out Wardi's channel if you want the conclusion, the finale of this event, of this tournament. He's got you covered there with the rest of this. So I'm just catching up in the chat. But yeah, Wardi has you covered with the rest of the events, and yeah, I guess we'll see you guys. Oh, the previous thing didn't end. But yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll see you guys tomorrow for some more StarCraft action. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Stick around. We're going to be giving another streamer a raid. We'll see who is live at the moment. I do see Forjumi is streaming, Coconuts. Coco streaming as well. I saw Migs. He was casting the Platinum Heroes tournament earlier, so he might send people over if he's still live. We'll find someone. We'll find someone to support. So yeah, stick around if you're interested. Otherwise, follow us on all the social medias: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord. All things CranKy Ducklings. And we'll see you guys tomorrow for some more StarCraft. Until then, hasta luego. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego.